Healthcare mandates. Statement. We've got a philosophical difference, which we've debated repeatedly, and that is that Senator Clinton believes the only way to achieve universal healthcare is to force everybody to purchase it. And my belief is, the reason that people don't have it is not because they don't want it, but because they can't afford it. Barack Obama speaking at a Democratic presidential debate, February 21, 2008. Expiration date? On March 23, 2010, Obama signed the individual mandate into law. Healthcare negotiations on C-SPAN. Statement. These negotiations will be on C-SPAN, and so the public will be part of the conversation and will see the decisions that are being made, January 20, 2008, and 7 other times. Expiration date? Throughout the summer, fall, and winter of 2009 and 2010. When John McCain asked about it during the Healthcare Summit, February 26th, Obama dismissed the issue by declaring, "The campaign is over, John." Raising taxes. Statement. No family making less than $250,000 will see any form of tax increase, multiple times on the campaign trail. Expiration date? Broken multiple times, including the raised taxes on tobacco, a new tax on indoor tanning salons, but most prominently on February 11, 2010, President Barack Obama said he is agnostic about raising taxes on households making less than $250,000 as part of a broad effort to rein in the budget deficit. Recess appointments. Statement. Then Senator Obama declared that a recess appointment is damaged goods and has less credibility than a normal appointment. August 25, 2005. Expiration date? March 27, 2010. If, in the interest of scoring political points, Republicans in the Senate refuse to exercise that responsibility, I must act in the interest of the American people and exercise my authority to fill these positions on an interim basis. Border security. Statement. We need tougher border security and a renewed focus on busting up gangs and traffickers crossing our borders. That begins at home with comprehensive immigration reform. That means securing our border and passing tough employer enforcement laws. Then candidate Obama discussing the need for border security, speaking in Miami on May 23, 2008. Expiration date. March 17, 2010. The Obama administration halted new work on a virtual fence on the U.S.-Mexican border, Homeland Security Secretary Janet Napolitano announced Tuesday, diverting $50 million in planned economic stimulus funds for the project to other purposes. Guantanamo Bay. Executive order stating, the detention facilities at Guantanamo for individuals covered by this order shall be closed as soon as practicable, and no later than 1 year from the date of this order. January 22, 2009. Expiration date? November 19, 2009. Guantanamo? We had a specific deadline that was missed. Military tribunals. Statement. Somebody like Khalid Sheikh Mohammed is going to get basically a full military trial with all the bells and whistles. September 27, 2006. Expiration date? Ongoing. President Obama is planning to insert himself into the debate about where to try the accused mastermind of the September 11, 2001 attacks, 3 administration officials said Thursday, signaling a recognition that the administration had mishandled the process and triggered a political backlash. Obama initially had asked Attorney General Eric H. Holder Jr. to choose the site of the trial in an effort to maintain an independent Justice Department. But the White House has been taken aback by the intense criticism from political opponents and local officials of Holder's decision to try Khalid Sheikh Mohammed in a civilian courtroom in New York. Recovery.gov. Statement. We will launch a sweeping effort to root our waste, inefficiency, and unnecessary spending in our government. And every American will be able to see how and where we spend taxpayer dollars by going to a new website called recovery.gov. President Obama, January 28, 2009. Expiration date. More than 2 months after some of the funds were released, Recovery.gov offers little detail on where the money is going. The government spent $84 million on a website that doesn't have a search function when its purpose is to root out waste, inefficiency, and unnecessary spending in our 18 from his first 100 days. Number 1. As president, I will recognize the Armenian genocide. Number 2. I will make sure that we renegotiate NAFTA. Number 3. Oppose the Colombian Free Trade Agreement because advocates ignore that labor leaders have been targeted for assassination on a fairly consistent basis. Number 4. Now what I've done throughout this campaign is to propose a net spending cut. Number 5. If we see money being misspent, we're going to put a stop to it, and we will call it out and we will publicize it. Number 6. Yesterday, Jim, the head of Caterpillar, said that if Congress passes our plan, this company will be able to rehire some of the folks who were just laid off. Number 7. I want to go line by line through every item in the federal budget and eliminate programs that don't work, and make sure that those that do work better and cheaper. Number 8. My plan will not help speculators who took risky bets on a rising market and bought homes not to live in, but to sell. Number 9. Instead of allowing lobbyists to slip big corporate tax breaks into bills during the dead of night, we will make sure every single tax break and earmark is available to every American online. Number 10. We can no longer accept a process that doles out earmarks based on a member of Congress's seniority rather than the merit of the project. Number 11. If your family earns less than $250,000 a year, you will not see your taxes increased a single dime. I repeat, not one single dime. Number 12. Barack Obama and Joe Biden believe the United States has to be frank with the Chinese about such failings and will press them to respect human rights. Number 13. We must take out Osama bin Laden and his lieutenants if we have them in our sights. Number 14. Lobbyists won't work in my White House. Number 15. The real gamble in this election is playing the same Washington game with the same Washington players and expecting a different result. Number 16. I'll make oil companies like Exxon pay a tax on their windfall profits, and will use the money to help families pay for their skyrocketing energy costs and other bills. Number 17. Obama will not sign any non-emergency bill without giving the American public an opportunity to review and comment on the White House website for 5 days. Obama is 1 for 11 on this promise so far. Number 18, a special one on the 100th day. The first thing I do as president is sign the freedom of choice and a list of promises that expired during the campaign. Iraq. Statement. Based on the conversations we've had internally, as well as external reports, we believe that you can get 1 to 2 brigades out a month. At that pace, the forces would be out in approximately 16 months from the time we began. That would be the time frame that I would be setting up. Obama to the New York Times, November 1st, 2007. Expiration date? March 7th, 2008. Obama Foreign Policy Advisor Samantha Power to the BBC. You can't make a commitment in whatever month we're in now, in March of 2008, about what circumstances are going to be like in January 2009. We can't even tell what Bush is up to in terms of troop pauses and so forth. He will of course not rely upon some plan that Obama has crafted as a presidential candidate or as a U.S. Senator. Also, July 3rd, 2008, my 16th-month timeline, if you examine everything I've said, was always premised on making sure our troops were safe, Obama told reporters as his campaign plane landed in North Dakota. And my guiding approach continues to be that we've got to make sure that our troops are safe and that Iraq is stable. And I'm going to continue to gather information to find out whether those conditions still hold. Statement. On June 14th, Obama Foreign Policy Advisor Susan Rice called the RNC's argument that Obama needed to go to Iraq to get a first-hand look complete garbage. Expiration date? On June 16th, Obama announced he would go to Iraq and Afghanistan so he can see firsthand the progress of the wars he would inherit if he's elected president. Debates. Statement. May 16th, 2008. If John McCain wants to meet me anywhere, anytime, to have a debate about our respective policies in Iraq, Iran, the Middle East, or around the world, that is a conversation I'm happy to have. Expiration date? June 13, 2008. Obama campaign manager David Plouffe. Barack Obama offered to meet John McCain at 5 joint appearances between now and Election Day. The 3 traditional debates, plus a joint town hall on the economy in July, and an in-depth debate on foreign policy in August. Iran. Statement: we can, then, more effectively deal with what I consider to be one of the greatest threats to the United States, to Israel, and world peace, and that is Iran. Obama speaking to American-Israel Public Affairs Committee in Chicago, March 5, 2007. Expiration date: Iran, Cuba, Venezuela, these countries are tiny. They don't pose a serious threat to us the way the Soviet Union posed a threat to us. May 20th, 2008. Statement: question at the YouTube debate, as the video depicted leaders of the countries, including Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. Would you be willing to meet separately without precondition during the first year of your administration, in Washington or anywhere else, with the leaders of Iran, Syria, Venezuela, Cuba, and North Korea? I would, Obama answered, July 27, 2007. Expiration date: May 10, 2008. Susan E. Rice, a former State Department and National Security Council official who is a foreign policy advisor to the Democratic candidate, but nobody said he would initiate contacts at the presidential level. That requires due preparation and advance work. Jeremiah Wright and Trinity United. Statement: I could no more disown Jeremiah Wright than I could disown my own grandmother. Barack Obama, March 18, 2008. Expiration date: on April 28, 2008, Obama cut all ties to Wright, declaring, based on his remarks yesterday, well, I may not know him as well as I thought. Statement: Obama said on March 18, 2008 that his church, Trinity United, embodies the black community in its entirety and was being caricatured. Expiration date: on May 31, 2008, Obama resigned his membership at Trinity United Church. Jim Johnson. Statement: criticism of running mate vetter Jim Johnson's loan from Countrywide was and that his vice presidential vetting team aren't folks who are working for me. June 10, 2008. Expiration date: June 11, 2008. FISA. Statement: Obama spokesperson Bill Burton on October 24, 2007. To be clear, Barack will support a filibuster of any bill that includes retroactive immunity for telecommunications companies. Expiration date: June 20th, 2008. Given the legitimate threats we face, providing effective intelligence collection tools with appropriate safeguards is too important to delay. So I support the compromise, but do so with a firm pledge that as president, I will carefully monitor the program. Nuclear energy. Statement: I am not a nuclear energy proponent. Barack Obama, December 30th, 2007. Expiration date: the above statement actually was the expiration date for his previous position. I actually think we should explore nuclear power as a part of the energy mix, expressed on July 23, 2007. The above statement expired when he told Democratic governors he thought it is worth investigating its further development on June 20th, 2008. NAFTA. Statement: Tim Russer. Senator Obama, simple question. Will you, as president, say to Canada and Mexico, this has not worked out for us, we are out? Obama: I will make sure that we renegotiate in the same way that Senator Clinton talked about. And I think actually Senator Clinton's answer on this one is right. I think we should use the hammer of a potential opt-out as leverage to ensure that we actually get labor and environmental standards that are enforced. And that is not what has been happening so far. February 23, 2008. Expiration date: June 18, 2008, Fortune magazine. Sometimes during campaigns, the rhetoric gets heated and amplified, he conceded, after I reminded him that he called NAFTA devastating and a big mistake, despite nonpartisan studies concluding that the trade zone has had a mild positive effect on the U.S. economy. Does that mean his rhetoric was overheated and amplified? Politicians are always guilty of that. And I don't exempt myself, he answered. I'm not a big believer in doing things unilaterally, Obama said. I'm a big believer in opening up dialogue and figuring out how we can make this work for all people. Public financing. Statement: if I am the Democratic nominee, I will aggressively pursue an agreement with the Republican nominee to preserve a publicly financed general election. Also, a Common Cause questionnaire dated November 27, 2007 asked, if you are nominated for president in 2000 and your major opponents agree to forego private funding in the general election campaign, will you participate in the presidential public financing system? Obama checked yes. Expiration date: June 19, 2008. Obama announced he would not participate in the presidential public financing system. Working out a deal on public financing. Statement: what I've said is this. At the point where I'm the nominee, at the point where it's appropriate, I will sit down with John McCain and make sure that we have a system that works for everybody. Obama to Tim Russert, February 27th. Expiration date: when Obama announced his decision to break his public financing pledge on June 19th, no meeting between the Democratic nominee and McCain had occurred. Welfare reform. Statement: I probably would not have supported the federal legislation to overhaul welfare because I think it had some problems. Obama on the floor of the Illinois Senate, May 31st, 1997. Expiration date: April 11th, 2008. Asked if he would have vetoed the 1996 law, Mr. Obama said, I won't second guess President Clinton for signing it. Obama to the New York Times. Gay marriage. Statement: Barack Obama has always believed that same-sex couples should enjoy equal rights under the law, and he will continue to fight for civil unions as president. He respects the decision of the California Supreme Court and continues to believe that states should make their own decisions when it comes to the issue of marriage. Campaign spokesman, May 5th, 2008. Expiration date: June 29th, 2008. I oppose the divisive and discriminatory efforts to amend the California Constitution and similar efforts to amend the U.S. Constitution or those of other states. Finally, I want to congratulate all of you who have shown your love for each other by getting married these last few weeks. Letter to Alice B. Toklas, LGBT Democratic Club. Partial birth abortion. Statement: now, I don't think that mental distress qualifies as the health of the mother. I think it has to be a serious physical issue that arises in pregnancy where there are real, significant problems to the mother carrying the child to term. Interview with Relevant Magazine, July 1st, 2008. Expiration date: July 5th, 2008. My only point is that in an area like partial birth abortion, having a health exception can be defined rigorously. It can be defined through physical health, it can be defined by serious clinical mental health diseases. Statement to reporters. Division of Jerusalem. Jerusalem will remain the capital of Israel, and it must remain undivided. Speech before AIPAC, June 4th, 2008. Expiration date: June 6, 2008. Jerusalem is a final status issue, which means it has to be negotiated between the two parties, as part of an agreement that they can both live with.